the majority of touring bikes and softails out there that have been made from 2007 forward that have 10,000 miles or more will fail Harley's leak down test. Welcome to part 3 in this multi-part series on why and how to cool down your twin cam and M8 engine. We're going to go real quick through 3 more reasons on why to cool down your engine. Number 1 is, if the engine's not as hot, you're going to be more comfortable. Not much more need to be said about that. You don't want to feel all that heat radiating out. Cool it down, you're not going to feel that heat. Second, and we're going to do a whole other video on this because it's a pretty detailed thing, but the cooler that the engine runs, the more power you have. That is why race car drivers around the world spend tens of thousands of dollars cooling down their engines. I'm sure everybody's heard about cold air intakes. There's a reason. And we're not going to get into that. That's another video. But the cooler that your engine runs to a certain degree, the cooler that your engine runs, the more power you're going to have. And the third is you want to cool down your engine to prevent engine failure. Now, Harley has done a really good job at making these engines run no matter how bad they are internally. The majority of touring bikes and softails out there that have been made from 2007 forward that have 10,000 miles or more will fail Harley's leak down test. A leak down test is where they test how much the cylinder is able to hold the compression, where it's not leaking past the rings and not leaking past the valves. And they see how much leaks down, how much leaks out the intake through the intake valve, how much leaks out the exhaust through the exhaust pipes, and how much leaks into the crankcase past the pistons. The vast majority of, once they hit 10,000 miles or so, are going to fail the leak down test. Not everyone, but the vast majority will fail once they get above that 10,000 mile mark, and especially if they're ridden in hot weather, which of course is when most people ride. But they still run. But if it failed the leak down test and you're under warranty, they're going to rebuild the whole top end of your engine at no cost to you. Why? Because even though it's still running, even though it's not putting out blue smoke, it's not running anywhere near with as much power as it would if it didn't fail the leak down test. And so what happens with all that heat that is normal on the bikes, the heads start warping, the valve seats get out of round, the cylinders get out of round, so the valves, the piston rings are not sealing, and it happens far more because the degradation in power is gradual. Most people don't realize it. But I can't tell you how many people I have recommended get a leak down test. They're still under warranty, get a leak down test, and they go in and have a leak down test and it fails the leak down test. Or maybe it doesn't fail. Like this one guy said, man, my bike has been running hot and it just feels so sluggish. I said, go in and get a leak down test, and it came back at 8.5. It has to be 10 or higher to fail. If it's 10 or higher and you're under warranty, Harley will replace the whole top end of your engine at no cost. So the M8 is a little bit different than the twin cams. On the M8, Harley's doing everything they can to obscure the data. Like, they don't even let you know what your oil pressure is anymore. They just go, okay, not okay. And on here, whereas on the other ones it says if you're 10% or higher, there's a problem. Here it says if leakage is greater than 25% indicates further diagnosis is warranted. Which, what does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. Just like you don't know what your oil pressure is, it's just okay or not okay. His was 8.5. From the factory, they come at 1 or 2. There's always going to be some leakage. So his was at 8.5. So he had a choice of either spending the money himself to get it fixed or just ride it another couple thousand miles. So that's what he did. He rode it another couple thousand miles, took it in again, had a leak down test, and it was at like 10.2, and he got a whole new top end. So you want to cool down your bike to prevent component failure, which is inevitable if you keep riding at the temperatures that these bikes come from out of the factory. So look for the next video in this multi-part series on why and how to cool down your twin cam and M8 engine. If you like this video, found it helpful, share it with your friends, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, please do so, and you all ride safe out there.